Tonight on Texas News Channel, a UT professor is cleared of charges.
UTPD teaches self-defense.
And Austin City water is undrinkable.
You're watching Texas News Channel,
your leader for live local UT coverage. Good evening. Welcome back to Texas News Channel for Monday, October 22nd. I'm Sally Seo.
And I'm Mason Carroll. Thank you for joining us tonight.
This morning, a lot of us woke up with a text from UT warning us of a city-wide boil notice. Hours later, the city issued an emergency restriction on water use. Austin Water says everyone's immediate action is needed to avoid running out of water. If you have to use city water, do not drink it or even brush your teeth with it unless it's boiled for 3 minutes. Students without access to stoves can use microwaves in the Texas Union and SAC to boil their water. For more information, go online to emergency.utexas.edu. More on the environment. Last week, we told you Austin banned all food businesses from throwing their scraps in landfills. This new law is part of Austin's Universal Recycling Ordinance, which aims to make the city zero waste by 2040. This week, TNC talked to local businesses to see how this new law is affecting them. Business is booming for Break It Down, a company that composts organic waste for restaurants and other businesses. As of October 1st, all Austin establishments with food permits are prohibited from disposing food scraps and other organic material into landfills.
It was a good week if we got 5 inquiries in a week. I mean, a really good week. Maybe 1 or 2 inquiries would come trickling in per week. Now, beginning of October, we were getting 40, 50 inquiries per week.
The manager of the restaurant Sway, Evan Cowley, says that they're handling it just fine. Sway uses the services of Break It Down to compost their organic waste.
It has not been hard for us to do because everyone is on the same page. I think it's great. I think that every city in America should be doing this.
Now, whether it's a lime or a napkin, if it's organic material, it is not allowed in the landfill. But composting isn't the only solution. Restaurants can also donate their edible food scraps to homeless shelters or to local ranches to feed animals. Whatever the method, all food businesses must submit an organics diversion plan to the city by February 1st. Sally Seo, Texas News Channel.
For students and faculty with disabilities, finding accessible entrances to buildings may be difficult. This year, the Service for Students with Disabilities released a new tool called Accessible Door Map, which helps students with disabilities navigate campus. TNC gave us a closer look. UT senior Ami Jean's life changed forever during her second year on campus. She soon discovered the many challenges students with mobility disabilities face.
In the spring of my sophomore year, I had a nerve attack and was diagnosed with relapsing remitting MS. So now, physically, I have fatigue in muscles, but the biggest change was me learning to accommodate for myself and the changes that would bring.
Services for Students with Disabilities provides resources to help students' accessibility around campus.
So we want to do as much as we can to create more access, but also to inform students so that they know what they may encounter as they're approaching a building or they're out and about on campus. Relatively new accessible door map, and that is a map that is accessible via the UT Maps page. If you look on other maps and then go to accessible doors, it will show you where all the accessible entrances are. It also shows which of those accessible entrances have an automatic door button.
Shryock understands the challenges these students face and wants to help build a more accessible campus.
And because I've had that personal experience, I do know some of what those challenges are, and it really does motivate me to work at breaking those down and chipping away at those.
Each student plays a part in keeping UT accessible for everyone.
Just being more aware of the people around you and how they may be thinking, I think would be awesome if students did that more.
Mason Carroll, Texas News Channel.
Defense Self-defense classes are traditionally popular around college campuses. This year we have seen a surge in sexual assault awareness around the world. TNC explores how UT is evolving with the Me Too movement and how some students are choosing to protect themselves. The University of Texas Police Department hosts free self-defense classes for the community a few times every year. It's called the Rape Aggression Defense Systems, or RAD. But this year, RAD instructor and UTPD detective Eliana Decker says the classes hold a special significance.
Something like the Me Too movement provides an awareness. The awareness that it's providing is causing people to start to research what they can do for themselves. Some of those people choose to do stuff like RADs.
UTPD says that the reports of sexual assaults are starting to rise at UT, although the actual numbers of incidents have not changed over the years. There were 6 sexual assault cases called from both on and off campus to UTPD in 2017. The data for this year is not finalized yet, but according to UTPD, we have well surpassed this number of reportings from last year. For Miradula Manivanan, the awareness of sexual assaults on campus is what prompted her to take this class.
And I've been paranoid of a rape, especially in college, because I've heard about it so many times. And as I came on campus, I was like, I need to take something.
Not only do the RAD systems help women prepare themselves physically for an attack, but it helps them prepare mentally too. And because there is growing confusion today about what defines a sexual assault, UTPD Detective David Chambers says it's important for people to say something if they sense something wasn't right.
College campus, we have not only the legal definition, but also the university policy on what sexual assault is. My best suggestion is to just talk to someone, and that way you'll have support as you're going along.
Sally Seo, Texas News Channel. If you're interested in taking a class, the next set will take place from November 5th to November 7th. You can sign up online at the UTPD website.
You may have heard this crazy story from the beginning of the semester. UT government professor David Prandtl was accused of making a terrorist threat on the first day of class. Later that day, a student reported Prandtl and he was brought into UTPD for questioning. Prandtl has since been cleared. Texas News Channel sat down with him for the full story.
On the first day of class, Professor Prandtl showed up to the wrong classroom in Jester. After talking with the professors, he found the correct class location. A week later, he received a call from UTPD's Officer Benavides to come in and talk.
Officer Benavides showed me a file that had my name printed on it, and he began to take notes, and he said, "There has been a complaint received by the university that you made a terrorist threat."
Professor Prandtl and his TA, Jonathan Jang, both do not recall exactly what was said.
Whoever it was said that while we were working out that I was in the wrong room and where I was actually supposed to be, I had said something about whipping out a gun and shooting people.
He does make jokes, so it's possible that he could say things that could be taken the wrong way, but again, I don't think even that happened.
UTPD found no cause for concern, and David Prandtl was freed of all allegations.
After talking with me for about half an hour, Officer Benavides apparently decided that I was a harmless old man.
David Prandtl is now cleared of all allegations and will continue to teach Introduction to Government at UT as normal. Carly Rapoport, Texas News Channel.
You know, I am just so glad the terrorist threat was not real.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that it wasn't real, but we don't actually know what he said, so I'm just glad everyone's okay, you know? Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Coming up on Texas News Channel.
Rev your engines with Formula One.
And get the latest midterm update.
Stay tuned. Tons of fans with the need for speed flocked to the Formula One auto racing series hosted here in Austin. Texas News Channel explains the path drivers need to take to make it to the grand race. Let's take a look.
The Formula One Racing Series is the highest class of single-seater auto racing. This past weekend, the series ended the 2018 season at the Circuit of the Americas track in Austin. But how do drivers get to the top racing series in such a competitive sport?
The hardest part for guys coming out of kart racing is to find a competitive and affordable racing package that has value.
Formula 4, a series lower than F1 racing, offers that value. But it was only after 2015 when it was announced that F4 would be brought to the U.S. that its popularity exploded. And 3 years later, the attention has brought in crowds of people to see these races and drivers from all over the world.
I believe it's important to go from have a medium step when you go from fast to then. Usually if you jump straight to F3, it's a high aero car, so it's very difficult to get used to. It takes a while.
The F4 series is an essential step to climb to the top for young drivers. This sport not only has massive attention now, but benefits drivers looking for competition and experience even more.
It's also the right development program for young guys with want to further their ambition. It's a very competitive series, so again, that adds to the value of the next step that they're going to go to. If you can win here, you can probably win at the next level.
Bailey Wang, Texas News Channel.
Although some don't consider esports a true sport, UT Intramural disagrees. They are now including esports in their program. Texas News Channel shows us the newest way you can compete without breaking a sweat.
Whenever you think of traditional intramural sports, you may think of volleyball, basketball, or swimming. People play in intramural leagues usually for recreational reasons. This semester, UT Rec Sports is changing things up by bringing video games into the program. Joseph Wise, the assistant director of intramural sports, said to the Daily Texan, "We thought it would be a great way to reach students that we may not get an opportunity to interact with during the other sports we offer."
With the inclusion of eSports, UT Intramurals is broadening the ways students can participate in intramural sports, whether they choose to be moving around or sitting down.
Members of Longhorn Gaming say this inclusion means something much more.
Universities don't really see esports as a part of the university, so since UT is doing that, I think it's really cool. It allows kids to be able to have scholarships for gaming like other universities and go pro like some of our players have done.
Some gamers were skeptical of the game chosen to be played, which will be Madden NFL 19, a football game.
I always wonder this about a lot of things, like TV, movies, whatever else. Like, just get someone in the room who likes the stuff that you're making.
UT Intramurals announced eSports will have its first competition on October 29th through 30th at Gregory Gym. Anyone is welcome to participate. Jaewon Yu, Texas News Channel.
Today marks the first day of early voting in Texas. As a part of our midterm update, we spoke with District 9's diverse pool of candidates. The district represents most of the 40 acres, downtown, west, and north campus.
District 9's list of candidates is diverse. Linda O'Neill is a government and history teacher, Daniel Skidmore is a transgender engineer, and Isaiah Jones is a UT student. They're all up against incumbent Kathy Tovo, who is only the 16th woman to serve on the city council.
Austin's not a city that is discriminatory.
Peck Young says that these candidates might have the chance to see themselves in this building in a city like Austin.
We want to be very liberal, and at least we're more enlightened than you might find some of the cities in Texas.
But it doesn't just come down to how progressive a city is.
City council races aren't like big races.
The way you win an election is you talk to voters. So we have been knocking on thousands of doors all over District 9.
All candidates talked about their active outreach programs. Jones's campaign did not comment in time. O'Neill and Tovo say that they can draw on their past experiences and the fact that they are women to win this election.
There's a lot of different hats that you wear as a teacher and as a city council member.
I'm a much better council member because I have 2 young daughters who keep me connected.
Regardless of their backgrounds, all candidates are excited to change Austin's District 9 for the better.
Regular people, need to step up and run for office and make sure that the city is held accountable.
But I don't make any bigotry, whether it's about your race or your gender, your sexual identification. should be the qualifying issue.
Claudia Jimenez, Texas News Channel.
Voting will continue through November 2nd. Official election day is November 6th.
And if you probably walked by the PCL today, it was very busy because of early voting. Speaking of which, those of you who are registered may want to check out Vivo. It's a free app created by UT students that provides accurate, nonpartisan information about candidates on top of who to vote for. It also covers propositions, has downloadable ballots, and a map of Travis County polling locations. It even shows you wait times. Longhorns say they are relieved to have an app with all the information they need.
I think that online a lot of conversation goes on about people who are participating in the elections, but it's very weighted with people's opinions and stuff.
It's a really great app to really just make me more informed about my options out there and really be more involved in politics, because I think that's something that I'm really aspiring to be, but just never have the time.
I think like with the app, I would be more inclined to kind of do my own research because I know it'd be easy and fast.
So to have an app that provides bipartisan information that isn't jaded in any way to voters would be a really good resource.
So Mason, did you vote?
Not yet. I tried to vote today, but I heard the line was over an hour and a half long, so I'm definitely going to make time tomorrow to go vote.
Yeah, I mean, early voting's supposed to help with long lines, but we're so politically active here, I guess. I guess it's a good thing though, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, continuing with our midterm updates, today marked the first day of early voting. UT students gathered to cast their vote in key races ranging from national, state, and local. Tonight, we would like to highlight two specific elections, the Supreme Court of Texas and the Court of Criminal Appeals. The Supreme Court of Texas is the final deciding voice in Texas's highest civil cases. 6 people run for 3 positions within the court. Stephen Kirkland, R.K. Sandel, and Kathy Chang are challenging Republican candidates Jimmy Blacklock, John Devine, and Jeff Brown. The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals serves the same roles as the Supreme Court, but for the highest Texas criminal cases, rather than civil like the Texas Supreme Court. It's 7 people running for the 3 positions in the court. Democrat Maria T. Jackson and Ramona Franklin challenge Republicans Sharon Keller, Barbara Parker, Hervey, Michelle Slaughter, and Libertarians William Bryan, Strange III, and Mark Ashe. Be sure to follow at Texas News TSTV on Twitter as we dive deeper into each of these races. Well, with all these long lineups on campus, I really hope the weather's good so people don't get rained on.
Yeah, absolutely. It started to sprinkle today after I was leaving the PCL.
Yeah, it's not good. Let's see what Gabrielle has for us in the Weather Center. Gabrielle.
Thanks, Sally. I hope you enjoyed the sun this weekend because it looks like the rain is coming back. But will it last? I'll let you know after the break. Welcome back to Texas News Channel. Don't be fooled by the sun we saw this weekend. It looks like the rain is on the way back. Tonight, we will see a 62% chance of shower. On Tuesday, bring an umbrella with you to class because there is another 60% chance of storm in the afternoon. The rain will continue throughout Wednesday with a 90% chance of rain. Thursday and Friday will be mostly clear with comfortable temperatures, but once we get to Halloween weekend, the sun will come out and bring some warmer temperatures. Be sure to enjoy the sun while it lasts, because as we enter November next week, it will only going to get cooler. Live from the Weather Center, I'm Gabrielle Wong.
Thanks, Gabrielle. We'll be right back with sports. Welcome back to Texas News Channel. We're joined by Brian Malloy from TSTV Sports, here to update us on the latest in Longhorn athletics. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks, Sally. On Wednesday night, the men's and women's basketball teams took to the court at Gregory Gym to give Longhorn fans a preview of the upcoming season. From Andrew Jones' return to the first time Karen Aston's women's basketball team has participated in the event, the night was full of excitement. The two teams competed in a dunk contest, three-point competition, and team scrimmages. Now we're going to go to Taylor Courtney with more on the Texas Tip-Off.
For the first time ever, the men's and women's basketball teams partnered up for Wednesday night's Texas Tip-Off at Gregory Gym. Fans waited in the rain to see familiar faces as well as some new ones. The festivities started with a women's exhibition game. The team impressed the crowd by draining 11 shots from beyond the arc in the scrimmage.
It was really about our young ladies having a good time, I think, in front of the fans. I told them this afternoon not to take themselves too seriously today. I wanted them to enjoy this environment because it was the first time they had had a chance to be a part of this tip-off.
The Texas Tip-Off also included a dunk contest featuring flashy dunks from senior Kerwin Roach, who dunked over TSTV's own Arya Bastami. Getting some help from his mother and brother, freshman Jackson Hayes jumped over both of them while wearing a burnt orange Kevin Durant jersey. The contest ended with sophomore Royce Ham Jr., who took home the win with a 360 dunk. The event finished with a men's exhibition game. Seniors Kerwin Roach and Dylan Osekowski led their teams into what became a highly contested competition, coming down to a last-second three-pointer. The Texas Tip-Off was a great way to exhibit the men's and women's teams with a sneak peek of what's to come this season.
It's our first meeting with fans this year. Our freshmen got a little jitters out at times. We saw like the potential that we have, and when things get going, how good we actually can be.
For TSTV Sports, this is Taylor Courtney.
Thanks, Brian. Let's head over to Rebecca to see what's new in Hollywood. Rebecca?
Thanks, Sally. Coming up next, we'll talk about who you won't see at the Super Bowl and a cast reunion from one of our old favorite shows. We'll be right back with your entertainment news. Welcome back to Texas News Channel. Rihanna has rejected an offer to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. The pop star says she stands in support of Colin Kaepernick and other NFL protests against police brutality. The NFL announced that Maroon 5 will take the stage during this year's Super Bowl halftime show in Atlanta, Georgia. In box office news, Halloween broke the record for the highest grossing opening day in October. The film has scared up $33.3 million its opening weekend and beat Marvel's Venom, which broke the same record 2 weeks ago. Jamie Lee Curtis took to Twitter to thank fans for going to see the film. Hug me, brother. Two boobs, Miranda Cosgrove and Josh Peck, finally reunited after 4 years. YouTube star David Dobrik planned the reunion as a surprise for his buddy, Josh Peck. Cosgrove ended the reunion with a classic prank, and her on-screen brother responded in the way we all remember, Megan. That's it for me. Live from the Entertainment Center, I'm Rebecca Saborio.
Thanks, Rebecca, and thank you for tuning in. If you have a news tip, email us at news@texasstudenttv.com. Be sure to follow us for news updates throughout the week. You can follow us on Twitter at Texas News TSTV and like us on Facebook. I'm Sally Seo.
And from Mason Carroll, have a great week.